Intro. Today I'll be talking about the creepy TikTok family known as the Getchell family once again. A bit has happened in what feels like a short amount of time since my last video, although I think my last video is like a month or two ago. If you don't know about this family at all and what all they have done, make sure to watch the rest of the episodes of this series. There's a playlist on my channel as well as a link to it in the description below. Some context will definitely be wanted or needed if you don't know about them already, as this story only gets worse the deeper we go into it. I have a lot of bigger videos to work on too, so if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do videos on lolcows, internet dramas, and more. Also, there's a new system on YouTube called Hype, and you can quote hype a video. It's a feature that allows viewers to give quote hype points to eligible channels with fewer than 500,000 subscribers to boost their visibility and help them get discovered by a wider audience. Users can make up to 3 hypes per week, with videos receiving the most points appearing on a central leaderboard accessible through the mobile app's Explorer tab. The system is designed to give smaller channels a greater chance to shine and gain traction on the platform, which sounds pretty cool, and it is free as well, so make sure to do that as well if you are on mobile to hype the video or use your hype points on this video. You can only do it once on a video, but you also, like I said, get 3 a week, which if you do, then hey, this video gets more eyes on it, more people are shown like, hey, don't support these people, and also spreads the message about this weird family. But thank you all for the support, and with all that said,
let's go!
Patrick Getchell leaves the internet. In my last video, I ended it off talking about the goal that they set up to return to TikTok. The goal didn't succeed as predicted, but they returned anyway, as also predicted. But Patrick ended up deleting the daddaughterdreamteam TikTok account, and here is the video, like the last video, as to why.
Hello, everybody. So, I know we haven't been posting at all, and we are pretty much done, but I could not let today pass without paying tribute to a very special individual. July 29th, 2010, at 9:39 p.m., probably the most special boy I've ever met in my life was born. He has been an awesome son. I don't think I could have ever asked for a better son. He's so kind, caring, loving. He reminds me every day of the love of Jesus. He is such a sweet child, and I am so glad that he's my son. You know, people have asked why it took so long to write a song for him. I had a song for Sarah done in minutes. I had a song for Theresa done in minutes, but it took a year to get his song done. It's because it's hard to put into words just how special he is. And today he turned 15 years old. It's hard to believe that he's 15 already. But over those 15 years, I have learned so much about being a good person from my own son. He's the kind of boy that he holds doors for everybody. I mean, everybody. It doesn't matter. He is there. He's always complimenting people. Oh, I like your shirt. I like your hair. Whatever. He's such a sweet person. And he just reflects exactly how we should all be. So, I just wanted to take this opportunity to tell everybody how incredibly lucky I am to have Hunter for a son, and how incredibly proud I am of him. And I just can't express it enough. So, happy birthday, Hunter. And I know comments are turned off, so we really, you know what? I'm going to turn comments on just for today, so that y'all can say happy birthday to Hunter. And, you know, thank you all for being here. As I said, we are pretty much done. This is our last ride. We'll probably be shutting down the channel by August 15th after we receive our final paycheck. But I did need to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to Hunter and to let you all know how special he really is and how much I absolutely love him to death. And I could not imagine my life without him. So, happy birthday, Hunter. And I hope that everybody is doing amazing. So please remember to stay positive and have an amazing day.
As talked about in the video, they deleted it after their last payday, and it actually is no longer up, even at the time of making this, which is like 2 weeks after they deleted it because they or took it down on August 15th. Now, he talks about Hunter a lot in this video, but people also called out the favoritism of Sarah over Hunter, and shows that, you know, the story that Patrick makes is kind of nonsense. People on Reddit show their concerns for Hunter. One of the posts by smart-condition-9495 says, "Worried for H. I'm so concerned for H. He spends his holidays and times at his grandmother's shack, and one of the brothers that, you know, is a offender lives there. The father has sick fantasies about his daughter. I pray that that's all it is to keep my sanity. I can't go to where recent findings are showing it's more. Thus is the only life he knows. It's, quote, normal to him. P is sick." Which is true. I mean, like, sadly, all these people like Sarah, Theresa, and Hunter have to live with this being a normal life whenever it's definitely not. And that's why they defend it so much, is because they think it's normal. There's also other reasons, which I'll get into later on. But they were also exposed for botting viewers or followers on their gaming Facebook page, which makes you wonder if they bought followers for other accounts like on TikTok, or if they bought them elsewhere. I wonder how long Patrick will be gone, as I don't think this will be the end of him being online, as people like these are a repeating cycle of returning to the internet and basically, oh, I'm done, and then returning. He's done this in the past before a couple of times as well, but I guess we'll see in the future. Sarah and Patrick respond. Sarah and Patrick both respond to rumors and the Reddit. First, I'll go over Sarah's response. Here it is.
First of all, he isn't doing things. Second, I don't think it's concern at all, because if it was, then it would have stopped on the now 10 or more occasions when I've made a video specifically stating that nothing's going on and I'm fine. The problem is that you people are so afraid to be wrong that you come up with all these incredibly wrong excuses like, oh, I must be or it's so normal for me that I just can't see it. I must have Stockholm Syndrome, and a dozen other excuses. The truth is, you want there to be some scandal. That's why someone from Reddit created that AI account and tried to make people believe it was us. They can't stand to be wrong, so they gotta create more drama. Here's an idea you might want to try. Mind your own business. And I already know the comeback for this one, so let me save you the trouble. You put yourself out there on the internet, so you have to expect criticism. Or we just want to make sure you're safe. I am safer with my family than I would be listening to any of you. So yeah, I'm safe. And yeah, we put ourselves out there on the internet. That does not give you the right to accuse my dad of things that are so terrible. Call him creepy looking all you want. Say he acts like a child. Say you don't like him. But don't come up with accusations that you can't back up with hard facts. Okay, I think that about covers this comment. I might see you again, I might not. I haven't decided yet. In the meantime, why don't you think about this? If everything you say was true, why hasn't anything been done yet with all the people making viral videos about us? How is my dad still free? The simple answer is, there is no proof. So in the court of the internet, it's okay to destroy an individual without proof? Sounds more like a witch hunt to me. I thought we had evolved past such juvenile behavior. Guess not.
I think that there's been a bit of proof of them being weird, or of Patrick being weird more specifically. Not just him, but both of y'all. There's even more in this video later on that ties to both of you. I personally don't know how police action hasn't been made yet, to be fair, although we will be talking about something in one of the next upcoming segments about possible action. But, I mean, the justice system, like, fails us. I mean, it's kind of known to not, like, work whenever it's supposed to. There was also a clip that I don't have where Patrick says it would be funny if they got swatted, which, no, it wouldn't be. I don't know if they were threatened to be swatted before. I'm surprised that they haven't been already. I feel like if they were swatted, then they would talk about it for sure. They would definitely bring it up to play victim and get more donations. Also, this isn't just a nonsense targeted attack against the family. There is genuine concern with proof of proper reasoning behind it. But when you all respond to it, you haven't really helped your cases at all, or just ignore it and not respond to it either. Or like you all respond in like weird ways, like deleting accounts, deleting videos, or whenever you all do respond, it's pretty poor. Now to go on to Patrick's response, he makes like a near 10-minute video responding to the AI account and I guess some other stuff as well, like him being a creep, and here's that.
So, y'all think we're lying. What a surprise. But since Sarah already brought it up, I wasn't going to go there, but let's look at this, shall we? So their evidence that it's us is we liked their photos on Instagram. And Sarah lip-synced the song. Well, you do, of course, realize that songs, TikTok videos can pop up on people's For You page that you've interacted with. It's part of the algorithm. So Sarah was the only one to make a lip sync. Sarah was the only one to actually make a lip sync or use the song. Well, it wasn't up long apparently, and she's the only one that saw it. And as for liking their photos on Instagram, well, we've already told you about that. We literally wanted to support a small creator, even if it was AI. So let's set this to rest right now. Let's take a look. So the way they pin this on us is apparently this Ariala Brigmon character sounds a lot like Aurelia. Okay, well, the trolls know our book just as well as we do. They've read it. There's been trolls that read our book just for the sake of research and trying to call it AI and all this other bull crap. Also, in her bio, apparently she had Monster Hunter as one of her interests, and everybody knows we love Monster Hunter. That's not a secret. So, let me ask you a question for all those that actually have a brain here, which doesn't include Reddit. Why, knowing that we have this Reddit snark page deep diving into every single teeny tiny detail of our social media, why would we even think about connecting that account to us by, number one, the lip sync, the likes, and number two, the interests? Like, literally, why would we make it that easy? If I was going to create an AI account, I certainly would not make it anywhere similar to us in any way, because that would be too easy for our trolls to find, which they did because, you know, it was right there. So the only other people with the motive and interest in us to create that account is our Reddit snark page, because they literally try everything to take us down. And since nothing we do is wrong or illegal or immoral or anything else, they have to find things. Like messaging creators with made-up fake stories about us in Sarah's childhood. The made-up crap about Sarah having a girlfriend and going to the hospital and CPS and all that. All lies made up by somebody, probably from the Reddit page, who decided they needed to get creators involved in making content about us because it spreads awareness. Okay, so now we've covered that. So, what's more believable here? That I went and created an AI account that posts NSFW content on FanView or OnlyFans or one of those sites. I don't know which one it was because I don't look at that crap. And then proceeded to point it directly back to myself and Sarah by encouraging her to lip sync a song and liking posts and making it all about us with our interests, and even Sarah's age was there apparently. Why would I do? Is it more believable that I'm that stupid, or that Reddit is trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes again? And they even went so far as to send this to Sarah's best friend and say that I created it with her image. Sorry, it looks nothing like her, by the way. It worked. Sarah lost her best friend over it. So now we're going to tie this back in. And I hope that Jenna sees this. I really do, because she still hasn't blocked us on TikTok. I hope she sees this and realizes that she got duped. But in any case, let me be clear. I would not now, nor ever, create an AI account that posts anything even slightly NSFW. I don't do that. And two, you can stop trying to pin this AI account on us. Because even in the event that it were true, that we created it, you can't do anything about it. The only thing you're doing is making yourselves look like, which, I mean, if the shoe fits. But honestly, this account has nothing to do with us. It never did. I figured if we just left it alone and let them wear themselves out, they'd stop, just like they did with the Purity Ring video. But apparently, they're so off, excuse me, they're so off because we got a dog, and apparently we can't afford a dog. By the way, Jackie's happy, healthy, and absolutely the sweetest, most wonderful dog I've ever had. That so much that now they have to do everything they can to try and ruin us. Well, it's not working. Just so you know. We're still fine. We're still happy. And we're still making a ton of money. Thanks to you guys continuing to encourage creators to post about us. So, enjoy. Have fun. And, you know, I know you're going to complain about the length of this video, but I can talk as long as I want. It's my channel. But I hope that sets to rest this AI account. And if it doesn't, oh well. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter. None of it matters. Nothing you say matters. Because in the long run, you can't do about it. Sure, you can go viral with videos about us all the time, but that just sends more people to our page. We literally haven't posted more than 2 videos in the past 3 weeks, and we've made over $400. Just sitting here letting you guys give us views and money. We don't have to post. We can make money just sitting here. So, keep going. Keep making us famous. Keep making us money. Because it doesn't matter. Because you cannot do anything about it. I mean, literally. You can't. Anywho, I hope this opened some people's eyes. And if it did, well, but as for this commenter right here, I don't lie. I don't have to lie. All I have to do is tell the truth. And honestly, you can say I'm lying all you want, but you have no proof. So it's all just a bunch of just like always. So have fun. And by the way, please keep encouraging creators to make content about us. I really enjoy all these laughable content creators who post videos about how I'm completely wrong and I'm completely inappropriate with my daughter. Send more people to our page. Keep pushing our videos to the For You page. Keep sending us more traffic. We'll keep making money. And we don't have to do a thing. It's nice. It's like a vacation. Have fun. See you in the next one. Maybe.
I think that Patrick is that dumb to make an account connected to them, or they are just into being caught. As I talked about in one of my videos, whether it was my last or whatever, I'm pretty confident that they are into being caught or nearly caught. But I am actually surprised that they talked about the AI account more. This response sucked though, and was boring and just overall weird. Very smug as well, which was pretty gross behavior. 10 minutes of nothing but lies and weird smugness for no reason. Also, he's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't do anything about us. and nothing that we say matters apparently, but he'll leave the internet whenever he gets backlash. So it doesn't really age well at all, and we know that you're lying and trying to put up a fake facade. It just shows a weird ego and just seems gross. And also, most people that are guilty of something are going to lie about it. His attitude proves that they are getting what they deserve. Whenever someone told Sarah about her and her family needing to go to therapy in their comment section, she had this to say. First, this was by reasonable_result 898, saying, "Here we go again with being rude to people and taking everything as an insult." This person says, "If you haven't already, you all should go to family therapy, not as a bad thing, just to talk about all of the hate and get professional advice on how to deal with it." And Sarah says, "And why would we need therapy when there is nothing wrong?" And then someone responds to Sarah saying, "I think they mean to help deal with the hate and how to navigate it," which is literally what the first comment said anyway, but they took it as an insult for whatever reason. The person adds on saying, "Honestly, anyone would benefit from therapy. Why must they take everything as an insult?" I think that's mainly because they know they're in the wrong, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Even if they were normal and people were hating on them like this, that would 100% affect your mental health, and clearly she's very upset about all the hate they're getting by the recent videos. Can't just get angry and then pretend the hate doesn't bother you. Laughing crying emoji. They could use family therapy in a lot of ways, such as learning to separate from each other, as they have like the enmeshment part like we talked about in like the first video. And of course, you know, SA in some type of way, whether it's mental or physical, probably both. They definitely need help with that. They need therapy for sure, but also they can't really afford it. They can't afford like proper dental care or to go to the doctor, less enough therapy sessions. So they're kind of screwed from the beginning in that. And maybe that's why she got mad as well, because she can't afford therapy and wants to actually get it. I think in my last video, Sarah had her comments turned off, but she ended up turning them back on. And of course, this segment already kind of proved that by talking about this comment, but I wanted to add that in here as well. Getchell family health. One thing a lot of people point out from Patrick's response was his teeth, as they are in very bad shape. He has one severely decayed tooth and a bunch of them missing on like at least the bottom row. I can't remember if it's like top row of teeth have any issues as well, but I know that for sure the bottom teeth do. Seems to only have like a couple of incisors, or maybe all of his incisors. And then maybe like one canine, which is just really weird. This could be due to medicines that he takes, if he has any certain health issues that, like, you know, some medicines hurt, you know, their teeth and end up making them decay. I don't know exactly what medicines those would be, and maybe you all could talk about in the comments, such as like maybe they're mental medicines or whatever they may be. That'd be a pretty interesting thing to try to figure out. This also, of course, could be from lack of dental hygiene, which I think is clear from Sarah and everyone else, or also drugs. Like, that's very possible. But people call out Sarah for also not having good hygiene, as her nails are really dirty sometimes, or most of the time. And also another thing commonly seen with the family is not brushing their teeth, like I just said. Which, of course, dental hygiene is very important. They need to learn that. They are grown adults. All of them are adults, except like Hunter. But there's also an interesting post from the Reddit I want to show here, because it's very interesting. It talks about the like effects of like being with a narcissist or dealing with them and what it could do to your brain. Murphy Sprinkles says, "Here's why leaving isn't so simple. Brain damage caused by repeated cycles of narcissistic dealing with, you could say, is equivalent to being in a car crash with no seatbelt. The relearning of basic motor skills, memory retention, and core self-restoration is unbelievably hard, and it shows a normal brain and a brain that has to deal with that type of stuff." Person adds on saying, "Before you mock S for, quote, not leaving her situation, especially one involving stuff by a narcissistic parent, dealing with narcissists causes actual brain damage, not metaphorical. Real changes, memory, motor skills, emotional regulation. It's like surviving a car crash without a seatbelt and then being asked why you're limping. You wouldn't bully a car crash survivor for needing time to heal, so why bully someone whose trauma isn't visible? You're not being honest, you're being cruel, and it says more about you than it does about her." Now, don't get me wrong, they have a good point that, like, hey, there's medical proof of stuff affecting, like, the stuff that Sarah's going through affecting her brain. But at the same time, you can't, like, I feel like bashing people for their criticisms is also a little invalid. Don't get me wrong, she needs to leave. Everyone has told her to leave. And just the way that she's acted in multiple occasions definitely shows, I don't know, like people are mainly positive towards Sarah. To be honest, they're mainly positive towards Sarah and want to see her like get help and, you know, heal and everything. Like, we want her to heal, we want her to do well and go on her own. So I just don't think that was exactly I don't think the point was that great there. But the post was pretty good, as it showed like a possible effect of this type of stuff that she's having to go through, this type of use, this type of contact. Patrick and Theresa's failing marriage. People on Reddit attempted to look into the public records to find anything about Patrick and Theresa's marriage, but nothing came up. People were suspecting that they were possibly not actually married, but people in the comments are saying that these sites aren't reliable, like the public documentation sites are not really that reliable, and it's kind of just hard to use that as a good source. But someone also brought up how Theresa seems way too delayed to be a parent at the least. And to be honest, I would argue about being married as well, unless it's like another delayed person. Lopsided_schedule_96 says, is T legally disabled? I want to start this out by saying I don't believe that every disabled person is incapable of consenting or being a parent at all. T seems super delayed to me. Like, how is she considered fit to be a parent? Nobody questioned if she's even mentally fit to consent to P to begin with. Not like one person in her family, his family, the OBGYN, nobody. Am I the only one wondering? I mean, it's clear that by her demeanor and how she talks that she is delayed and disabled. Like, how does she not have an aid? I work with individuals just like her. I don't understand how nobody in their lives questions if P has or is taking advantage of T. Also, they're chronically homeless. This happened a lot. Was her childhood full of them living in hotels? How is their parenting never questioned? Which is a good point, but also you have to put up in mind that Patrick's family, for the most part, is like, you know, a brother or two, if not all of them, are all on the list, or all have had a history of using people. You know what I mean? So their family isn't going to really care like, you know, you would expect a normal family to. And also for Theresa's family, I have no idea. There's no telling. I don't really know anything about her side of the family. I think it is messed up. I think that, of course, I feel like an OBGYN should probably, you know, be able to report to the police if they suspect something like this. You know what I mean? I feel like as well, I wonder how they act like in one of those like situations or in one of those settings, because he's probably weirdly like possessive or weirdly controlling, or, you know, has that demeanor in him. But, yeah, so that's why, like, no one really has stopped them, is because, one, I'm pretty sure T's family, Theresa's family, is either completely cut off because of Patrick, and then Patrick's family is just a bunch of bad people anyway, so they don't really care. People also point out that although Patrick said he loves his son so much and all that, he still shows favoritism pretty strongly towards Sarah, and he even does this to his wife, too, which I've shown in the past. And here's a clip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's like God level incredible.
I'm not that good.
That's amazing.
Well, did you expect any different?
No.
Not really.
After all, this is me we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
The god of cooking.
No. Don't ever use that term for me.
It's so weird to me that they describe themselves to be religious, but then say something like that. If it was my kid, I would be very like harsh against that. I'd be like, no, don't say that. You don't compare stuff to that. You know what I mean? Very weird. So I feel like they're only religious to benefit themselves whenever they can to get viewers, likes, or whatever. But an example of doing the mom dirty would be here. This post is by GirlyPop05 saying, so defensive. And this person says, you know they have this medicine called Bonnie. It helps tremendously with any car sickness. I've taken it my whole life, so mom can be upfront. Someone responds, whether it's Patrick or Sarah, saying, our family is fine the way it is. Why spend money on medication when mom is perfectly fine sitting in the back and that solves the problem? This is her choice after all. Besides, seating arrangements in our car shouldn't really be that big of a deal to you. Okay, cool. Just thought I'd mention it. It helps me and my kids so much. Like, it's very, like, it's funny, too, because they get ratioed on this as well, showing that, like, they're just being weird. They're being hateful for no reason. And this is very, like, defensive and mean. Also, if being in the back of a car helps with car sickness, sure, but maybe she's not actually saying. I'd rather just, get her the medicine. She's going to be in the front seat at some point. And putting the mom in the back seat anyway is low-key kind of crazy. They also don't have a lot of money anyway, so they probably can't afford the medicine. Probably mad whenever someone brings up spending money for therapy and medicine and stuff like that because they can't afford it. They also used Theresa's account to stalk Jenna, or Theresa actually uses her Instagram and likes looking at her stuff. But how believable is that truly? I don't know what Theresa does, but I feel like she's just sat in front of a TV. I think she works, right? So she just goes to her job at McDonald's, then also just sits there in front of a TV for the rest of her time, or does I don't know. I just don't think she's on social media like that. Getchell family investigation and personal experience story. Now, to be clear, this story is not from me, but it's from someone who did confirm themselves to be an actual person that has been around them before and stuff like that via the Reddit. And here is that post. The post is from Da Vinci's Ghost, and it's a moderator of the subreddit saying, "Verified anonymous post via Modmail. Hey everyone, we had a user reach out to us through Modmail that wanted to share their personal experience with the family. We verified who they are. They asked to remain anonymous, so I am going to share this post below." And here's the post. "I've been quiet about this for so long. I've been afraid about bringing up negative energy into my life in form of karma for, quote, gossiping, but I believe it has gone beyond gossip and it's important for me to speak up in support of Sarah. I knew Patrick and his family at one point in time. I will not disclose how or when for my privacy. While he was always kind towards me, I always did get a bit of weird vibe from him. I don't recall him having many angry outbursts, but he would get a bit heated about religion-related topics. Even back then, he spoke a lot about purity culture and stuff like that. I also remember him being very homophobic. Sarah was a nice young lady when I had known her, and we were friendly with each other. Sarah, if you see this, I'm sorry if I wasn't there for you the way you might have needed me to be. I had no idea of any of this stuff going on until relatively recently, and I would have done something back then. I had no idea. I wish I knew how to help you now." As we are all aware at this point, Patrick's brothers are offenders and that he is still in contact with them. I don't know if they were ever around Sarah or Hunter, but I know Patrick, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing by saying this, was also a victim. Oh, that's insane. That's actually a big bombshell. What in the world? Sometimes I'm reading these things for the first time as well. I feel awful telling someone's trauma like that, but I know it's relevant because sometimes people who have experienced CSA go on to continue the cycle, which is a point I was about to bring up once I was done with this. What I'm saying is it's not impossible. I, of course, hope it's not what has actually been happening, and I am not saying S has been or is being used. I'm very much not making that claim. You can ask all the questions and comments, but I'll answer that in my own discretion and personal comfort through mods only. Someone asked, EG12400 says, was there any signs looking back? And Da Vinci's Ghost says, there were signs, of course, that he was a little bit creepy, like on one of his YouTube channels, he was making what was basically a sleep radio with his voice speaking subliminal messages to you. I don't know what he's saying by a sleep radio, but to go on, he says something to promote a better Christian self or something. I didn't understand it back then. I don't really understand it now. I don't know that I saw any signs of SA towards Sarah, but they were still touchy. They were still quite touchy. I know that some families do this, and it's not considered weird, but the whole family would kiss on the lips. I've always found that odd and a bit uncomfortable when my family does that with older children. I think he was much better at seeming inconspicuous in person, although he definitely had some problematic views and would get preachy / go on rants at times. So I guess that kind of shows more about Patrick in an interesting way, such as how he is as a person, what's happened to him in the past. And yeah, this makes me more and more confident that the cycle is being repeated because it happens. I mean, I'm not happy about it. It's sucky. But yeah, the cycle's definitely probably being repeated here. Other than that, that's really the only good or big question. I think that this story is pretty interesting. Like I said, I think the cycle is possibly being repeated. It's interesting to hear that he is a victim. He's not talked about it. This post has been up for 22 days, and they have been gone for maybe 2 weeks. So I'm surprised that Patrick never used that in a way to get people off of them or to get support, views, or whatever. It's pretty interesting. He'll probably try to use that whenever he comes back, or Sarah might make a video on it soon, I would assume. There's also comments in, I don't know exactly where, from a TikTok saying that they are now being investigated. Someone says, I can't say too much, however, there's an investigation right when they dip. A few of us have been working together, didn't want to announce or talk about it, so it wouldn't cause them to flee, but I guess where they already did. So that's pretty cool. I think that, you know, that's pretty interesting if there's actually an investigation. I think also probably a bunch of people have already reported them to the police in their area because they, you know, just how they are. Without a doubt, with how many people have been watching the videos online, like whether they found them on TikTok or whatever, people have definitely been putting in big, like, police reports and stuff. So they're probably under their eye already. Patrick and Sarah's secret accounts. As we talked about before in my last video, Patrick and Sarah boasted about having other accounts, and I assumed people would find them at some point, and they did. A few of them at least, and here they are. One of them is called Star Wolf Diaries. They kind of use like the same colorway that I think Sarah likes to use, like the same heart emojis and stuff. Christian Editors Multi-Fandom Edits. Star Trek, Stargate, and Multi-Fandom. I don't really know a lot of what they're doing edits of, and I didn't even check the account to see if the edits were even good, but you can assume they weren't. This account has 17, near 18,000 followers at the time of getting the screenshot, and the reason that you can tell it is them is because they repost all of their videos, like all the Getchell family videos. I think there's also another one called Dream Team Edits, and they say, where's the Dream Team page? And it says it's linked in our link tree in our profile. And I think that this is also another thing where, like, I didn't even check the link tree either, but I'm guessing it connects to their family. And I think I was accidentally blocked. I can't find it anymore. I really loved your guys' videos. So they kind of confirmed that they were, like, the Dream Team family. Also, the main account, Dad Daughter Dream Team, would repost their edits, and it says Dad and Daughter Team Teen Wolf collab with Dream Team Edits. There's also multiple of the Dream Team edits that say, like, oh, me and Dad did it, or Dad edited this one. Multi_fandom edits. .edits, I don't know, they got some weird names. They got a few different edit accounts, I guess. Another account that was called out from Echoes of Now says suspicious account. I have noticed the account commenting on all the snark/T TikTok posts about them, and it's always defending them, calling them haters and jealous, including going as far as saying things like, just because your dad never paid attention to you. Anyway, I decided to take a look at their profile, and a part of me thinks it's Patrick. What do you guys think? I wish it showed the repost, but it just shows the posts in general. And these posts seem very lazy, very not great. I don't really understand, like, the posts that are being posted here. Feminism is failing the scientific method. Real men obey how feminism redefines masculinity to serve women. I just don't, like, these are really weird posts if they're actually from, like, Patrick. And I think, I can't remember if the family is left or right, but there's, like, an anti-far right thing, I guess, or something. I have no idea. People are saying it does look like an account he would have, though. Also a Twitter account, a suspicious one called Sugar Baby Lily. It kind of looks like Sarah, like, a while back, but I don't think that background is at all familiar. This name Nancy, like, pops up a little bit in, like, Patrick's following, but Stella Scavo actually had, like, a complete Reddit post going over a bunch of accounts, and it says, I'm not sure if this is anything, but it's worth looking at into ASAP. I'm posting here before they delete anything since I saw someone mention lurking on their Twitter accounts. This account follows all of their accounts I can find. Patrick Get 6509, Dolphin Lover, Dolphin_Lover, Firebound H, Dad and Ladybug, Getchell Fam. The account is not following Jumper_Dragon and MH Bonk Bros. I think they have more accounts, but I think it's worth looking into if this account is posted on other websites. If we match the name of it, why would the same corn account follow all of the following above accounts? There's no way it's a bot. You can find the account easily looking at Patrick's followers. So maybe Sarah tried to be a sugar baby at one point. I could definitely see that. You know, just a way to get money. Wait, how old is she? Is she like 20? Okay, so maybe she's been a sugar baby for a minute. When was this account made? joined May 2021. So you all would have to let me know how old she would have been back then, because I don't know her exact age. But yeah, I think this is pretty interesting. They have so many accounts. Like, it's like psycho, the amount of accounts they have. I just don't get it. They are mentally ill, for sure. Or they forget the login like every other locale. Ariala Brigmon and suspicious accounts. One of the biggest things recently found by the community was a Litrodika account. I feel like some of you may already know what that is before I even try to explain it to you, or even without the context of this story. And I'm very curious of who's the Litrodika gooners out there. If you don't know, it's a website where people post erotic stories and even audios, and there was an Ariala Brigmon account on this website. Let's just say it was making family x family stories, if you catch my drift. And how we know it's actually their account is because people try to make accounts with their emails that they use. Here's actually a clip of someone actually showing off, and there was also other Reddit posts as well using some of their other emails, but here's a clip of them using emails to attempt to log in, and there's already an account there.
Hey guys, so I got a message on Instagram from somebody who wanted to try to show and see if Patrick in any way was connected to the website. So she decided to take email addresses of his and try to create an account to see if any of these were being used. She went through most of them, and I guess the one that said email already in use is his gaming email address. So I went to his gaming Facebook account to make sure that it really is his, and this is what I found. This is straight from his gaming Facebook profile, horrifiedgaming@gmail.com, which is the same as this email address when you try to make an account on this account. So take it however you want.
There was even things that had been said before on stream or on their streams that seemed to reference their stories as well. So here's the clip.
Well, I am your cuddle bear.
Yes.
So I'm sure you'll want to cuddle me.
And I'll be standing in the back with a ladybug suit on. You can't. Never mind. I'll shut my mouth.
Like, what does that even mean? These two are so weird. And honestly, at this point, I feel like I should keep stating that these are my opinions, my thoughts. This live was super weird. There was a lot wrong with this live, but this specific moment where she's talking about standing in the back in a ladybug suit while her parents are cuddling just seems very creepy. My immediate thought was like American Horror Story. There were a few scenes where that like latex guy, like that's literally all I could think of. It's so weird. It just seems like super inappropriate to make that kind of a joke with your parents, especially the circumstances surrounding your family and all of the thoughts and opinions that people have. So it just seems really out of pocket and not appropriate.
And here's the reference. It's actually referenced in one of the stories that they made. Yes, they actually made family x family stories. And one of them said, I stood by the corner that led to Dad's room. Really weird. It gets really weird really quick. So let's start from the beginning here. There's an account that is supposedly Patrick's by the name of Babe for Dad. Babe, and the reason that you can kind of tell it is Patrick's account is because of the profile picture, which kind of looks like Ariala Brigmon. And also, you know, like their Firebound and Harmony story. There's also another account, Wife in Training 18. And both Ariala and Babe for Dad are followed by this one. The description of the Babe for Dad account says, love to roleplay with voice, daddy/daughter, uncle/niece, hot teen. Open to other hot scenes, mommy/stud son, gangbang, interracial, exhibition. Oh no. He really is into being embarrassed by it. Three-way, lesbian, mommy, daughter. Only limits, no pain, bathroom stuff, or humiliation. Wait, what? By the way, I'm 70 years old. What in the world? That's so random. The Wife in Training account says 20F married to 56M, worships him, housewife. Okay, mama of 3, traditional marriage, Christian domestic discipline. That kind of goes wrong. Golly, shared. Okay, this is insane. Some of this I don't even know if I can say. You can also see Patrick's favorited audios on this account, and the one and only audio that is favorited by him is a Family X Family one, which I was going to show to you all, but it is so X-rated I cannot or will not risk doing it. But the account is called Bill Highcock. And this account's description says, male, 40s, single, New England, 6 foot, 235, brown short hair, brown eyes, brown and gray beard. I wear size 13 shoes. Here for fun, friendly, naughty chat with like-minded women. I like flirty, forward women with a naughty streak. What? I'm Dom, especially enjoy getting to know submissive girls with huge vocabularies. I don't know exactly what. Whatever. I'm afraid I'm prone to talking at length with conspicuously polysyllabic words. Sorry. Interested in D's, chat, RP, voice, or just friendly conversation? I'm pretty geeky, but I can usually hide it. Ha ha ha. I have some audio stories in my profile. I think people were trying to say that this also might be his account, but I don't know. I listened to the stuff and people were saying it's possibly him with a voice changer, but I don't think so. But to go back to the Babe for Dad account, Patrick would write, or more so generate, multiple stories and post them on this account, and you can tell it's him because of the things he wrote. One of the stories being How to Write Funny, which I think was just a post in general, and more importantly, Magically Erotic Room 18, which goes along with what he writes now. Under, of course, taboo / the I word, and a bunch of his stories, I think they all actually go under the taboo / I word. Made multiple in a very short amount of time, which is how you can tell that they were AI generated. The account might have been made for longer, but I think maybe he updated some of these or something. I don't know exactly how this stuff works, but the earliest I am seeing here is April 29th of 2024. But he made multiple weird ones. I'm not even going to say the names of some of these because I literally can't. Talking about mom and dad, and there's one's called Daddy and Mimi Go to a Hotel, where Mimi is the daughter, and of course the descriptions are, talking about like sexy fun and stuff like that. Also made two, one's called Trashy Romance Novel Part 1 and 2, where Mimi arrives at a nursing home, open to fun, to say the least. What in the world? To highlight some of the stuff that he has made before, it seems like the last update was on July 25th, 2024, and ever since then, it's just not been updated. An excerpt that I can read from this says, Bill don't have to be asked again. He shucked his clothes and slid into the bed next to his warm 18-year-old. I love the feeling of your skin all on my skin, sir. I'm not saying that word. Bill reminded himself that Mimi was a stepdaughter, so it technically wasn't 100% a cesspool, just like 98%, and she was 18, so 100% legal too, if he weren't her stepfather. There seems to be connections towards Sarah and Patrick in this. One example is some of the description that was made in some of these stories. One of them talks about the light brown hair, green eyes, and also very descriptive, X-ray descriptive parts of other assets, you could say, and also talks about how she liked to watch Monster Hunter, and of course Sarah's wearing a Monster Hunter shirt with also brown hair in this photo. There are also multiple Reddit posts that I'll be going over here, and one of them's by Catch20, who says, regarding the latest Ariala content. Hi guys, for anyone diving into the newly uncovered Ariala erotica account, I would want to toss this piece into the mix. I went on the Wayback Machine, and there was a snapshot of a story from 12/08/24 showing the account still has the Ariala photo and the quote, "My name is Ariala" in the story's introduction. This was 8 days before S posted a lip sync video at all. So I'm guessing talking about the lip sync video to the quote Ariala song. I was so desperately hoping that it was someone who already had the story and was able to edit their profile after the fact, but it seems not. I do have a question though, for anyone who may be involved in how it was found. How was this found? With how much digging we all did when the first Ariala stuff broke, how do we not find this sooner? Laughing crying emoji. And I mean, I wonder what else we will find now with this little bit of information that we got with this account. I wonder what is next. Lucky_philosopher207 says and also points out that they actually were commenting, the Babe for Dad account commented under one of the Family X Family stories that they liked or something like that, and say, "This is so hot, you're a great writer. I would like to include some of your stories in a book of my stories and the best ones I find on here. I just published my first 2 on Lit, check them out." And this seems like something that Patrick would say and something that he would do. Apparently this was a father and son story, which is really weird. You'd think that Patrick would be heavily against that, especially with what we just went over with the entire that one like personal life experience. Anyway, to go on, potential-act-3722 says, could this be that day? I remember when they posted a video and they seemed a little too happy in these, and it talks about how at the very end of the story it talks about going on a hiking trailer. We spent the rest of the day at a hiking trail enjoying each other's company. That night I slept in Dad's room ever since. We decided that once wasn't enough. We continued to every day. Our relationship has deepened. I'm completely in love with my dad. We might as well be married. And he also shows a screenshot of them walking around the woods, apparently Cedar Ridge Nature Preserve. I remember them going on hikes and doing stuff there, like not like that type of stuff, but I mean like making videos in the woods and stuff like that. Not those kind of videos, which seems pretty well connected. Key-particular 4975 says, anyone else look into the whole Ladybug nickname? And the Ladybug nickname on Urban Dictionary says, a chick that is cute and hot at the same time. She has a body like a lady but is cute like a little bug. And this was, the definition was in 2010, so this was before Patrick and them. I wonder if he made it. What if he made the definition? That would be insane. And of course, like in the beginning, we all knew the account by a dad and his ladybug, and now daddaughterdreamteam. And of course, here is the I am his ladybug. And I think the dad had a matching shirt, which is insane, and it kind of seems like they were more public about it than what we even knew. It just gets crazier the more that we keep learning more about them and finding more. Also, the other connection is interesting-bat-605 saying, S describes P's cooking as, quote, God level incredible. This is an excerpt from another story, and it talks about the burgers are so good it was like God personally cooked them. And then also shows where Sarah says the cooking is God level incredible. And also have a video here that I played earlier talking, like showing favoritism, where Sarah says this and then Hunter says this, and Patrick has two different reactions to it, and I guess this is why he had such different reactions to both of these.
Okay. That's like God level incredible.
I'm not that good.
That's amazing.
Well, did you expect any different?
No.
No.
Not really.
After all, this is me we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
The god of cooking.
No. Don't ever use that term for me.
Silly Gross Girl says, can I get some clarification? Is it possible that he generated, really in parentheses, those stories without her knowledge, or are they supposedly writing stories about each other? Sorry, I know, so confused. And personally, I think that it seems like they were definitely connected. You had the wife in training account, which he could have been just playing as the girl. But I think, like, especially with the ladybug joke that was made, like the ladybug suit in the corner thing, where she watches dad and the mom cuddle, it seems like she definitely knew about this stuff. I don't think they're very private about it. They're very touchy and stuff and kiss on the lips like we said earlier. So yeah, I don't think that it's just that. Yeah. But y'all can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think that they did this together, but they could have done it separately, or just like only Patrick. Also, after all this was exposed, the MsAriala account got deleted, but the Babe for Dad account, and I don't know about the wife in training one, are still up. Now, I'm not going to be able to show any of the bigger stuff, or basically a bunch of the story, and due to that, I'm going to be posting on my Twitter. Get me to 200 followers on there, by the way, please. I think I'm at 179. I would like to be at 200, so you can go check out my Twitter as well, and I will link the Reddit post that shows the Wayback Machine link and stuff like that, so you can read the story all yourselves and look around there. But I do think it's interesting that after they got exposed, they deleted the accounts pretty quickly after. And you might be wondering what the story is like and how bad is it really? Well, I can't show it in its entirety because it's too graphic, but I'll be showing you snippets, or at least the first few paragraphs, and then giving a summary afterwards as I skim raid through a little bit at the end and kind of get an understanding. The MsAriala profile with 11 followers, one story, which we can't see who those followers are, but I would assume that half of them are random people, and then the other half are probably his accounts, which we won't see anymore. So the story is called Dad and Me, Chapter 1, The Beginning. Hello, my name is Ariala, and I have been wanting to tell my story for a long time, but it isn't something I can really talk about with a lot of people. even living in Rhode Island where this stuff is illegal, is frowned upon and considered wrong. So they're trying to consider it as like a real story. I don't know if this is just for like the storytelling purposes or what. Can someone remind me in the comments about, did Sarah originally say in her Facebook that she used to live in Rhode Island or something like that? Or was it like Missouri or something, like maybe something with an M, like Massachusetts? Because there is certain things that I saw earlier that I don't know if I can go get back, but someone showed off one of the accounts before, and her location was like somewhere like that. I really don't understand why. What difference does it make if family members want to be involved with each other? Heck, nowadays it is acceptable to engage in some activity with multiple people that you barely know, but not the people you're closest to and have the bond of trust with. So one thing that bothers me is that, like, is it trying to be like basically maybe it's either Patrick's sick fantasy, right, or it's Sarah writing these as well or helping write this. If they collaborated with this, that'd be insane, right? I don't know what's worse, to be honest, or if this is like Sarah telling her story or Patrick telling their story, but from like her point of view or something like that. Anyway, sorry for the rant, guys. I know you want to know my story in full detail, so I want to tell you about the first time I was finally able to have my dad and I collaborate. It did take some convincing due to society views, so sit back and enjoy my story. I grew up in a small town near the coast of Rhode Island. My mom and dad divorced when I was young. I really wanted to live with my dad. I always have been daddy's girl. Always have been a daddy's girl. But the courts awarded primary custody to my mom. I stayed with my dad every chance I got, and we saw each other a lot. When I was 15, my mom moved us to Georgia, and I hated it. Being so far away from my dad was torture. I toughed it out till I was able to save money and move home with my dad. Finally, on my 19th birthday, I was able to make the long move home. My mom hated to see me go, but she understood. How old was Sarah in 2024? I don't know how old she is really. It's hard to say. But was she 19 in 2024? Did she recently turn 20 or 22? Something like that? I think she's in her 20s now. But to go on, my mom hated seeing me go, but she understood. I got back to Rhode Island on December 1st, 2022. Dad welcomed me home, and we spent the next few days together just shopping and hanging out. I was going to register for college the next fall, so I had plenty of time. Dad's job kept him out late at night, so I was alone a lot. I didn't mind as long as I knew I was there and I knew Dad would be home every day, even if it was late. Dad's job paid really well, so I didn't get a job. So I kept the house clean and played lots of Monster Hunter, key word there. One night, Dad got home late from work. I'd been watching TV in his room because my TV had blown, and I didn't have a chance to get a new one. When my dad entered the room, I was asleep. Rather than wake me, I just crawled into bed next to me. It should be noted, this is where it gets bad, by the way. This is where it starts getting a little too, like, not too much, but starting to get really bad, and I'll kind of describe. At some point, it just goes straight into, like, no more build-up. It's just straight action. But for some of the build-up, I want to talk about it because at some point, the action is just so much, I can't say. I'm not going to risk it. It should be noted that I, in fact, had no items, to say the least. This was completely accepted in my family, as we believe that having no items is a beautiful thing that is not bad in itself. My dad went itemless whenever he was home, and I did the same. Never a big deal to me. I even post pictures online. It helps me make a little pocket money, so when Dad came to bed, I was fully itemless too. He got under the covers with me and fell asleep. The next morning, I woke up before Dad hit, and the covers were gone. Staring me right in the face was my dad's joystick. Of course, as I said, I see my dad's joystick all my life. I see my dad's gaming controller all my life, so there was nothing new except the fact that my dad just never had the joystick on walking around the house. Well, he has now, and something snapped inside of me. At that moment, I knew I was going to give my Virginia ID card to my dad. The controller was perfect. I had seen other controllers before in review videos, but never like this. My dad's was a work of art. I resisted the desire to play games with it and went downstairs to make breakfast. As soon as Dad smelled bacon cooking, he was up and came down. "Good morning, sweetheart," he said, giving me a hug and kiss. "Good morning, Dad," I replied, flipping over the last 4 pieces of bacon I had in my pan. "Are you hungry?" Even as I said it, I knew it was supposed to mean the bacon, but I couldn't help the flirty tone that came out of my mouth, thinking if Apparently he didn't notice because he simply said, yes, definitely. Yesterday was a busy day. This also shows like how he sucks at writing too. The quote is like ended early. Yes, definitely. Yesterday was a busy day. I could use a good breakfast to prepare for the same today. We ate breakfast and then Dad got dressed, kissed me goodbye. He left for work, leaving me alone in the house. I couldn't wait any longer. Seeing his controller and making that subtle reference at breakfast had me ready beyond belief. I knew I needed relief, so I went to my room and pulled out my laptop. How do I put this? Okay, so it goes into detail about watching YouTube videos, playing the game herself, and then getting the dad to walk in while she's playing video games, and then trying to convince the dad to play video games with her, and they end up playing games in various different ways, or various different games, you could say. Yeah, it's too graphic. It's literally too graphic to keep on going. And I feel like it's more tedious for me to try to make up words or try to go around it for you all. Because I know it's probably annoying. It's annoying that people get annoyed with me censoring the videos. Anyway, my response to that is hate the game, not the player. Absolutely insane, and especially with all the other connections that I was able to make. It just got even worse. I just wonder, like I said before, I wonder what is real or what is made up. Who made this? Like, was it Patrick? Was it Sarah? Was it both of them? Like we talked about before with the personal experience story, Patrick is like, he's repeating the cycle from what it sounds like. Even if he's not directly repeating the cycle, he has the fantasies in his head. And I'm very like confident that he's repeated the cycle. And I feel bad because I hope Sarah's okay. This is terrible. I don't know how else to... It's just terrible.
There has been an extremely disturbing update into the investigation of the Dad and Daughter Dream Team accounts. I'm going to put a major trigger warning on this video. Basically, people discovered accounts that pretty much confirm what everybody has been suspecting. If you guys don't know who these two are, this is Sarah and Patrick. They are both adults. They are dad and daughter, and they went viral for their uncomfortably close relationship. Many people suspected something very wrong was going on. Basically, two accounts were found on an erotica website that have strong ties to either Sarah or Patrick or both. These accounts contain graphic stories of this kind of corn. Is very disturbing and very graphic, so I will not be featuring any of that in this video. Basically, there is no denying that these accounts belong to either one or both of them. And this Ariala account was made before they posted about Ariala Brigmon on their main account. We can only hope these stories are fictional and not based in reality, but it seems like the Dad and Daughter Dream Team account has deleted their accounts since this has surfaced. I just want to say to Sarah, I am so sorry if this is your reality. You are a victim, and I really hope that you can find a way out of this situation. There are countless people and countless organizations that would be able to get you out of this situation. None of this is right. None of this is normal. This is not how family members should be with each other. None of this is your fault, and countless people will help you and support you.
Sarah is getting her own apartment. The title of this segment is correct. Although people believe that she's doing this abruptly due to possible social/child service investigations, where she has to leave the house because of them. Maybe this was a way to try to get people to focus on something else other than the erotica account, and a way to make more money and grift or scam people, as she'll be asking for donations or for stuff through the Amazon wishlist, which we'll get into in a second. This was her return to TikTok.
Well, guys, here I am. I'm sorry to say, but the Dream Team is gone. We just couldn't post content together anymore, knowing how people saw it, especially with the latest bull they're trying to spread. All the rumors are false, but there's nothing I can do. People are going to believe it, and I can't stop them, so we're done creating content together. So, welcome to the new me. I'm going to fly solo from now on. Don't get me wrong, I still love my dad. He will always be my best friend and biggest fan, but I think flying on my own is best. So from now on, you'll only see me. I can't stop because I love creating videos, and honestly, I don't want to give these haters total victory. I'm gonna do some fun videos coming up, maybe not daily at first, but I'll get back to that. Give me a little time to get prepared. I hope everyone can be happy just seeing me and leave the rest of my family out of it because they're just not interested in dealing with it anymore. I will try to go live again soon, but as I said, I need a little more time to get going again. Until then, I hope everyone is doing okay. This will be a place for fun and entertainment, never any negativity. See you soon. Hey guys, so I didn't want to say anything until I was 100% sure, but there are 2 big changes coming for me soon. First, I got a new job! I'm going to be a customer service representative for a local company. The best thing is I get weekends off and I work a consistent schedule. I don't know how I'm going to like working in a little cubicle answering phones all day, but it pays really well. Which brings me to number 2. I will be moving into my own place. It's just a studio apartment. Actually, it's kind of like an extended stay like where we used to live, but it gets me out on my own so I can finally lay all these terrible rumors to rest. I move in next week. I'm so excited. I won't be doing an apartment tour this time though because distinguishing features may dox my location, and since I'll be living alone, I definitely don't want that. You'll still see some of it as I film my videos, but again, I have to be careful. I am finishing up the course for my driver's license, so hopefully soon I won't have to take Uber or the bus to get to work. I'm very excited for this, but also nervous too. Living on my own is going to be more difficult even with a good paying job. Staying in the extended stay is going to be good because if I find I can't handle it and need to come home, I can without destroying my credit or rental history. Soon, I will be doing some get ready with me videos for work, nights out with friends, maybe even a date or 2 if I can find someone I like. Please come on this journey with me and support me as I attempt to build my own life. Don't get me wrong, I will still hang out with my family. I just need to establish myself as an individual to prove to everyone that I'm an independent adult. Maybe then they'll stop worrying about me, especially with all the new rumors lately. I just need to distance myself a little bit. Anyway, keep watching as I might share pics of my desk at work and limited pictures of my new apartment too. See you soon. Love you guys. Bye. Hello everyone. By the time you see this, I will be in my new apartment. I'm just finishing up now with one last load. I'm a little nervous about my first night alone, but I'll have Jackie with me to protect me, so I'll be fine. I know you guys are anxious to see the new place, but it is a complete mess right now, so just give me a chance to tidy up and unpack. I won't be able to unpack much now until next weekend, because I have to work all week. People are also asking to see my desk at my new job. I don't really have my own desk, it's more of just like a small little cubicle with a phone and a computer. I'm also not comfortable showing my work. I know that just my desk wouldn't give anything away, but I would just rather keep my work private and away from online. Plus, workplaces have strict social media guidelines requiring employees not to post images or videos of their workplace just to protect them from getting caught up in their employees' online activities, which I completely respect and understand. So please respect my decision and please stop asking to see my desk. This is a brand new chapter in my life and I promise to share as much as I can. However, given what's happened recently, I hope you all can understand why I will be taking precautions now that I'll be alone. When we had the Dream Team account, we were way too forthcoming with our location. However, we were always together, so we were relatively safe. Dad was always on alert. Now that I will be mostly by myself, I will be way more careful. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock on Sunday and I need to get up in the morning and go to work. So I'm going to get this last load over to my new place and get some sleep. I will try to post more this week. I hope everyone has a great week. See you soon. Bye.
We made an Amazon wish list with some pretty unnecessary things in it, and she would go out to buy some of this stuff herself anyway, so it's like kind of useless. Her wish list total on Amazon was $1,371.87, but a bit of it was unnecessary or overpriced. Like I said before earlier, and the account connected to the list was under the Dream Team name, so it wasn't even her own account. Some of the examples of some unnecessary or overpriced things were a bunch of pink stuff, like a pink toaster, pink strainers, like trying to be really specific on what she wanted. A bed canopy, like a pink one, custom personalized like dog bowl instead of just going and getting something really cheap. A big full-length mirror that was pink and was kind of decorative. Cherry blossom tree, like a neon sign, you know, with her name on it. Like, it was just a bunch of stupid and unnecessary things. She actually still doesn't have her license. But now she has her own apartment and stuff, so... someone asked, will you be getting a car? And she says, as soon as I get my license. Axolotl says, now we're adding a car to the mix. I was looking through the comments of her latest video, and come on, all of a sudden we get a whole new job, an apartment, and a car. Yet she couldn't afford all her, quote, new furniture, so she had to make a wish list. I feel like this whole thing is delusional as a SeaWorld dream. This family has no clue how the real world works in order to make these things believable. To give her credit, though, she did actually end up getting new glasses and brushing her teeth in her return video. So, I mean, bullying does work. I think she's kept her teeth clean recently, so that's also good. She actually showed off a picture of one of her, like, receipts, and it was a bit of money. Like, I think she spent a bit on like silverware and stuff, like in one of the TikToks I show, and like her shopping. I know that she said she got a new big job, but I don't know how she has as much money as she does to... She did a Stitch Fix video, so that's money. Stitch Fix is like a spot where some people were sponsored by it in the past, where they give you random clothes, but you get to like kind of customize like what you want in a way. She did that. She of course had her Amazon openings that were gifted stuff, and some of the stuff she was a little ungrateful for or something like that, or she like wanted to return for whatever reason because she already had it, but it might have been something that she could have kept a hold on to. I don't know.
Hey guys, so I went down to our apartment complex office this morning and I had a package. Now I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna open it on camera to let you guys know. I did tape a piece of paper to the front of it because, hello, address. So yeah, let's open it up and see what we got. Okay. Okay, so what an exciting time in your life, Sarah. We are rooting for you and we want all of your dreams to come true, from Angel from TikTok. Well, thank you, Angel. I'm not sure what this is, but let's see. I may need scissors. Give me 1 second. Okay, got scissors. Now let's get this opened. I mean, it's something that I have to wash because it says to put the product into the laundry bag. So, what? I don't remember this being on my wish list. Is it vacuum sealed? This is vacuum sealed. Yep. Oh, it's the comforter set. Sorry, my camera cut out, guys, but this is the comforter set. Oh my god. Oh, it's so fluffy and warm. And it came with a pillowcase. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much for the gift. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this so much. Thank you, Angel. I still have a few things left on my wish list if you guys want to go and check that out. So yeah, and I will do an unboxing for everything that I get. So thank you, Angel. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Both duplicates. So apparently I didn't get these things off the wish list in time, but these are both duplicates. And so is this. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and return these and like get something else off the wish list. So don't worry, Carrie. Thank you all so much for the gifts. I'm very thankful that you guys buy me all this stuff. I definitely don't need it. I will be buying some of the stuff on the wish list myself.
It really makes sense where she has enough money now to have her own apartment, to get a car soon. Still hasn't gotten her license, though. I wonder if she'll actually focus on her degree now, or whatever college credits she needs or program she needs to get into for her SeaWorld dream. Which, honestly, at the moment, I would give her, like, since she's actually moving out, if this is true, which some people are not believing, I think that her dream of being a SeaWorld trainer is not exactly a bust yet, but if they repeat the cycle and she goes back to that house, or it's proven that she lied about moving in on her own, then yeah, her SeaWorld dream is a bust, and she'll just be stuck in this repeated cycle with her parents of being broke and doing this weird stuff. They honestly do need to be off the internet, because I feel like grifting or panhandling online should not be allowed. I feel like they gotta start banning people for that. Also, if you're wondering, Jackie and 2 of the reptiles will also be joining her in the new apartment. She had a slip up on stream talking about it, which I thought was kind of funny.
Can't wait to cook dinner for myself. Thank you for the corgi. Jackie's going with us. Jackie's our dog. With us? With me. Jackie's our dog. She's going with me.
If this is true, then good for her, a step in the right direction, but I definitely see this being not true at all and a lie. I guess we'll figure out in the future, and I'm guessing pretty soon as well. She should be moved into the new apartment by now. That or she's like lying about the new apartment and it keeps on delaying it. That's also another possible future possibility. Community questions, comments, and concerns. Like I did in my last video, I'm going to be doing another community questions, comments, and concerns like segment. I'm going to probably do these for all of these next upcoming episodes because I think they're interesting and bring up good points. Effective Low 2735 says, if the trolls are making you a ton of money, why are you and the family still in a hotel? Get an apartment you aren't making. If you make so much money, take your family to the dentist, get dentures. I'm sure you all are on Medicaid, get your teeth fixed. You're not tricking anyone. And it's a good point because Patrick tried to boast about making a bunch of money, and also guess what? I mean, now you don't have that TikTok account, so you're not making that bunch of money off of TikTok anymore. You're back to doing whatever you do in your spare time, which is write those fan fictions, I guess. Itchy Expression, that's kind of a funny name. 897 says, they think they're so clever. I hate their schemes. And their comebacks sound like they're coming from a 12-year-old. They're just failures and can't accept defeat. They dig themselves more and more in a hole, which is very true. BBG, or Baby Girl 4386, saying Electra Complex. Have you guys heard of the Electra Complex? I think Sarah might have it. The signs show heavily in my opinion. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Electra Complex describes a girl's unconscious desire for her father and feeling of rivalry towards her mother. I could see that. I feel like this is not like a natural thing. I could definitely see it though. I could definitely see her feeling that way and doing that type of stuff though, like being she's already possessive of dad, favoritism, and everything that's going on only points more in that direction that yeah, she probably does have the Electra Complex, which is insane. I never heard of this before, and I thought this was gonna be like another form of narcissism or like mental delay, but as soon as I looked up the definition, wow, it's a very big and really interesting topic to talk about. Next is by significant-ger- that was a little close. 3746 saying, how did they come to live in an extended stay hotel? Sorry if this is a dumb question or a weird one, but I'm just curious if they ever posted or talked about why they ended up in an extended stay motel. I remember the whole family doing a trend like, do you know the 70s song? And it looked like they were in someone's house / someone's porch. People in the comments like small_remove_1287 say they probably got bad credit from all Patrick's get rich quick schemes. Although it's obvious they have low wage jobs, I've not really thought about their credit at all. Definitely see Patrick being in like weird loans that never like went well, or him being one of those guys that like need to be on financial audit because they like have done so much wrong with their money. Because I feel like at this point, they should be closer to being in their own apartment or whatever. And they're not. Or at least they used to have their own house. I forgot what happened with that. I think he told a story about it, but I forgot. I think that he probably does have low credit. And probably also has a bunch of debt that because he wanted to use some get rich quick schemes. There's no way that you make as many websites as you do and everything else that he has done for these schemes and not have like issues. You know what I mean? It seems very like possible that he definitely does have an issue with money and credit. So rip to that. Much ad 5596 says, a message for P. Here are my thoughts on your little video. Why does your entire family have poor teeth? My dental insurance costs me $2 a paycheck. How hard is that for you? If you're making a ton of money, why are you in a motel and not a house? You can't rent a trailer at least. I looked up the rates. It's affordable, especially if you're making $400, quote $400 from TikTok. That's monthly, by the way, apparently, because TikTok pays monthly. And why aren't you using said money for dental work? Or, honestly, just for anything in general, in my opinion. Why didn't you address the book being the AI's profile cover? Why don't you and your family at least wear clean clothes, have clean hair, and just look clean in your videos? Why is your dog being treated better than the lizards and snakes? A plastic bin isn't a home, it's animal cruelty. That's yet another thing that should be investigated. Why do you even have animals to begin with when you live in a 1-bedroom motel? Shouldn't you save all of your money? Why don't you brush your teeth? Oh wait, I already asked that. You need to purchase some Tums. I think it would be beneficial. I'm not sure like what they're trying to say there with Tums. Y'all can let me know. Why do y'all think Jenna was your best friend? If she truly was, she would have given you all her number. She would have invited y'all to gatherings. She would have tagged you all in things. She would have believed your side about the account. Why do you control things like what Sarah wears and what music she listens to? Good point. Why can't y'all do actual dance trends and do more than just fling your arms around? That's another good point. There's no effort in their videos. I want to know, why did you dance with your daughter to Touch My Body by Mariah Carey? Why do you make Christian posts, sell Christian quote merch, but then continue to curse and belittle others in a public way? Which is another good point, and like I said earlier, they are Christian for the benefits. Why are you proud of making money being accused of being in an incestuous relationship with your daughter? Why do you think you are so intimidating? You're just creepy. You and your teeth aren't intimidating. That is very true. I don't know why he acts like he's this big guy, but he's truly nothing in this life and is nothing without the internet. He would just go on to be a creepy family that got like arrested and only known as that. So, but that's their future. Please invest in some chapstick. Please invest in some nail clippers. Yes. Next is by Cajun Person 05. The views to likes ratio on their videos. I'm surprised no one's talking about this, but it's insane. Their videos get hundreds of thousands of views, yet only have like around 1,000 likes per video. I find this so hilarious because Patrick thinks they're famous or something, which is another good point. Like I said before, they didn't hit their goal. No one really cares about them. They are literally only like 1,000 likes for a hundreds of thousands viewed video. You are quite literally just being watched and spectated. You're not even being supported in any slight way. Echoes of Now says, they both think they're famous. It wasn't long ago when Sarah was bargaining and negotiating and threw out crazy numbers like 200,000 likes for them to post again. Both of them live in a fantasy, which is very true. Steak Kebab said, random thoughts about the future. What happens when P has a massive heart attack and dies? Given he seems to be the main breadwinner, what happens with a family dynamic? Does Sarah get up and get a full-time job? Will the workload be put on Theresa? Maybe Hunter feels responsible for the family. Will Sarah finally be able to get some clarity on the situation? I've been thinking about that a lot lately. If a bunch of the debt, oh man, what if like Patrick made Theresa sign for like certain bills and stuff, and like debts and stuff? And does the debts go on to like the wife and stuff as well afterwards? Either way, I think that they would be a little bit more free, but also financially heavily hurt because if Patrick is the main one having a job, then they all would have to get a job, and they're all basically just living to survive at that point and get their heads above water. And that'll be very interesting because I'm not gonna lie, Patrick looks incredibly unhealthy. I'm pretty sure not that great for his age, right? Like his body just shows like poor like care of it, you know what I mean? So I could definitely see this happening in the future and wondering what's going to happen with that afterwards. Next is by Rosebud's Dash saying, I think it'll be a while. I don't think we'll see Patrick for at least a month or two. I don't think he ever thought this would get out. That's what all the cockiness was about in his latest There's Nothing You Can Do About It Because We Still Have Side Channels Making Us Money spill was about. This is mostly me hoping he won't come back, but I don't see him making a comeback for a little while. I do agree he loves the spotlight and attention, but this is some serious soup he's got himself into. This is borderline reason for investigating, if not 100% reason to investigate. I think he's going to lie low until all of this, quote, cools down and Sarah gets enough positive attention on her channel at the very least. And only because he doesn't want to be investigated or reported. Because after all, quote, we can't do nothing about it. What do you all think? Think we'll see him anytime soon? Has-some-question says, if we believe Sarah has gotten support or looking to make it big on TikTok to save up and get away, that could bring a lot of cash for Patrick. I'm sure that there will be plenty of people who would donate to Sarah if they think that she'll get away from this mess. The longer he stays offline, the more we'll think we won somehow. I don't see how her leaving brings in a lot of cash for Patrick. Because she'll be gone and stuff like that. It's her own account, which I'm guessing is connected to her own bank account. Hopefully it is. Next is by Soupy Soup Soupy saying, investigations. I was just wondering if anyone knows or confirmed investigations going on with this guy, /have any departments in their area been looking into this? It just seems insane to me that he's publicly getting away with doing all of this to his daughter and no enforcement has stepped in yet. Rosebud's Dash says, I feel like after the Literatica account has been released and pretty much confirmed to be him, as per you amazing detectives, it's grounds for one. I will genuinely be surprised if he isn't investigated. But then again, we all are aware of how cruddy the justice system is, so who knows? And that's a good point. Who really knows? I really hope that we do get justice. Because that Literatica account is actually insane. They at least need to be away from each other if nothing actually happened, because something will happen at that point, and he doesn't need to have Hunter there either. Next is by Give Me One Margarita 1 saying, how much do they make? How much money do they make on TikTok? And someone put up a account that's kind of like Social Blade, but for TikTok, and to be honest, I wouldn't trust these numbers. Social Blade isn't correct, and none of these websites are really correct. They either over or under estimate how much someone really makes, but they're saying estimated monthly profit is $26 for Sarah's account. And if that is true, then that is pretty... Oh, I love that it says video engagement 1.2% low, right? That is actually... that just shows that no one really likes them. They're all just sitting here, looking at the circus of a family, so... But I do believe it's not a lot, especially because the Patrick account got, hundreds of thousands of views, and Sarah's probably will get the same at some point, or is getting the same, so maybe a few $100s each month if he said $400, which he could be lying, and it could be half that. I've heard TikTok doesn't really pay that well, so I don't really see where they're getting this from. But Sarah does try her best to post 1 minute plus videos for the most part, so yeah, she'll get more money than the shorter videos. Echoes of Now comments saying, this is actually sad. She's so desperate to be an influencer / content that she's wasting her youth to make pennies. This is literally a 7-year-old's monthly allowance. She could be doing something much more worthwhile to put forth towards her future, but because of her dad, this is what she does. And that is true. She is kind of wasting her time. You all can also add on to these, of course. I want to know what you all think about the questions here from the community, and have a good discussion in the comments. End. Before I end this video, of course, like I do before the end of a lot of my videos, I want to show off some memes first, and then, of course, let you all go. First is by intelligent_swan_239 saying, anyone ever thought about how Patrick looks like Peppa Pig's dad? And he low-key kind of does. I can definitely see the resemblance, and it's kind of insane. Next is by Rotting Corpse saying, Patrick, please get some new clothes that actually fit you. And this makes me think of Smart Schoolboy 9. If you've seen that story, if you haven't seen that story, go watch the dude that made the video on it. Bad in every way. They definitely do have just clothes that don't fit them at all, but this was one of the worst fits I've seen. There's that all red fit. Does anyone remember that? That was hilarious. Next is by Soft Serve Mangoes saying, everything reminds me of him, and it shows goldfish spicy dill pickle flavor, which just is insane. Yeah, I'd be reminded of him too because of that. Mini-Trainer2279 says, this comment was hilarious. It's a comment under one of Sarah's most recent videos, and it says, these bangs, and it's Peter Griffin choking. Person added on saying, kudos to whoever posted it before it was ultimately removed, because that is hilarious. 420 likes. But that is all I got for today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. This episode was pretty dark because of the Ariala Brigmon stuff and kind of the update around it and everything. Absolutely insane what we've recently figured out with him, because genuinely, what in the world? That account just makes them look more guilty, and there's so many more questions brought up with it. Do y'all think Patrick will return, and if so, how long? Because I think he'll probably will return, but I know it's going to be terrible. It's going to be super hard for him to actually come back from this, because it is bad. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more as I make videos on locals, internet dramas, and more. Make sure to follow my Twitter. It is linked in the description below. Don't forget to also use the hype feature and hype this video. That will also really help me out. It's a new feature that will help me out as well. They also probably push new features a bit more than anything else. But in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.
Here we are, all the fixins'. I hope you boys left some room in your trousers.
That smells delicious. The food don't smell too bad neither.
Oh, stop it, you! How do you like it?
It's good. Different. That meat is so tender. You know what? This place used to be a pig farm when we was kids. Before we lost our ma and pa. Horrible business.
Horrible.
But we still got each other, ain't that right, honey pie?
And we still know how to have a hog killing time.
Here, that's for you.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Where are my manners? Drinks.
Yeah, I could definitely use a drink.